Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are safe and fine at your places. And I believe that you must have seen all the videos, all the video capsules before it. This is a very important topic, right? This chapter which covers a good amount of marks in our board exam, right? So right now we are dealing with the chapter Physical Education for Children with Special Needs. In short form, we called it CWSN. What we called it? CWSN. This formula is generally asked in board examinations, right? CWSN, that is Child with Special Needs. Got it, students? So now the topic, the subtopic of this chapter that we are going to understand is very important. Not only for the board purpose, but it's very important to learn something in life. This chapter is basically deal with the problems, the kind of disabilities, what are the physical challenges, mental challenges, social challenges, and what are the problems that people face. Which kind of people face? The peoples with disability. We generally call them special peoples or Divyang. Got it? So here what we need to understand? Here we need to understand the meaning of the CWSN. When we talk about child with a special need, it means definitely they need some special care. Just because they are having some kind of problem. They may have a disability, they may have a disorder. If we talk about disability, so disability is a kind of impairment. When disability occurs, it means it may be a sensory, it may be a physical problem, it may be a cognitive problem. Now let us understand the meaning of this physical problem or physical impairment or physical disability. When I am telling physical impairment or physical disability, it is related with the physical body structure. Like not having upper limbs, not having lower limbs, it means we are talking about the physical structure of the body. Second thing is sensory organ. So when we were talking about sensory organs, it means things affected the sense organs. You are aware that we have 5 sense organs: eye, nose, ear, tongue, skin. If any kind of problem occur in these sense organs, definitely there will be the problem. Got it, students? So the very important task to understand here is the kind of problem which our sense organ faces. Alright? So here is the very important thing is to understand is the concept of disability and disorder. So when we are talking about disability, it's totally an impairment of the body. When we are talking about disorder, so disorder is a state of mental confusion, right? So two things to keep in mind very in a nice manner is disability, alright. Second one is disorder. So let's make a box and finish it. Alright, so this concept, and now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about BASD. What is spectrum disorder? So before we are going to start this topic, I would like to draw your kind attention towards a situation. You must have observed in a classroom, in society, and wherever place you are living. Some of the children or a group of people or an individual wherever you live around you. Sometimes some of the people very shy, having a shy nature, they have in their own world, and they sometimes very quiet. They never ever used to talk with people so much. Why? What is the problem behind this? Why these people are not so talkative or normal talkative? Might be something problem or some kind of problem going on in their mind. They may face some ongoing intellectual problems, some thought related problems, some repetitive problem, or any kind of problem is going on in their mind. Some kind of mental confusion is definitely going there. So if you've seen someone, you must have seen, I know, you must have seen people around you, like any single, you must have seen a single person which having a kind of problem, that is disorder, and disorder is a state of mental confusion. If we talk about in terms of this ASD, autism spectrum disorder, sometimes people frustrated, showing repetitive behavior, showing anger, showing aggressiveness, sometimes cheerfulness, mixed up with things. All kinds of problems are mixed up. Don't know why. We generally say why the student is not studying properly. Your child don't want to listen anything. He is not doing anything. He has no use in this world. Sometimes teachers comment. Sometimes people comment them that what you will do in your life. You will not do anything in your life. You are such a fool kid. Sometimes negative people say. But what is the problem if any of them have visited? Let's come. Today we will be going to understand this problem in detail. Why do some people do not focus more? What is the problem going on with them? Why these problems are occur with them only? What is the reason that these people become so aggressive? They have their own world. So why all these things are happen? We'll see it here in this lecture. Okay? So let's come on. Let's come up, gear up your car in the ocean of physical education. So today the topic that we are going to cover is autism spectrum disorder. Okay? So first thing to understand here is the full form of ASD. Okay? The full form of ASD is autism spectrum disorder. Now let us understand the meaning of autism spectrum disorder. The word spectrum means lot of things. Spectrum means lot of things or a group. Got it? The word spectrum says that something which is in group, something which is a. So here in autism spectrum disorder, will deal with a lot of problems. Basically, when we think about autism spectrum disorder, it is a group of developmental disorder which has a wide range of disabilities at different levels, right? So when we are here on the autism spectrum disorder, what we need to understand that a person who is facing problem of autism spectrum disorder, they have a group of developmental problems, right? So now what is this group of developmental problems? So first understand the meaning of development and growth. If I say a developmental problem or a growth related problem, so you must have understand the meaning of growth as well as development. And it is very important to understand the meaning of development and growth first. See, this growth is related to the cellular parameter. The growth of the body, it is a cellular, it is based on the body structure, right? But if we talk about development, so development is related with the overall well-being, with the improvement in the mental status of an individual too. So here we understand that development is something which is the vital part, which is the most important part, which is related with the whole soul. Growth is a cellular term. Right? So a person who having autism spectrum disorder will face a group of developmental disorders. These disorders consist of wide range of disability. Right? So people with wide range of disability as well as different levels of disorder or disability are termed under this autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum disorder, we can say it's a name for a group of developmental disorder. This disorder, that is ASD, autism spectrum disorder, includes a wide range of and level of disability. So here we have wide levels as well as range of disability. People with ASD often have characterized a lot of ongoing social problems, repetitive behavior, and so many things. This ASD, autism spectrum disorder, the people's having a lot of problem. It may be ADD, It may be ODD, obsessional deficit hyperactivity disorder. They may have some specific learning problems. They may have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They may have a tolerance problem. They may have anxiety related issues. They may have auditory processing problem. They may have some problem related to the sense organ. They may have problem with the corporate coordination, obsessive compulsive disorder also. Unknown reason. They do not have a reason to fight. They have any reason. They can create any reason, right? So this autism spectrum disorder is a very important point to concern, as it is a group of developmental disorder. And autism spectrum disorder, people generally disturb. So if a person having autism spectrum disorder, they will be generally disturbed the abnormality in their body function. So when a person is disturbed, when the mental temperament loses, definitely the person will be disturbed a lot in our daily routine, right? See, when a person is facing a kind of disorder, it means he or she is in a state of mental confusion, right? In a state of mental confusion. So if someone is in the state of mental confusion, definitely there will be a lot of problems in the thought process, that is the intellectual process. Now here we need to understand how we keep our mind, our thought process and everything in a proper way. So the very important thing is to keep in mind that our life should be balanced, and which is made up of 4 components, or we may say 5 components. The first component is physical fitness. So if you go for the physical exercise on a regular basis, if you maintain your body posture, if you maintain the BMI, body mass index, the percentage of fat, the percentage of a good amount of strength, endurance and everything in your body, right? The exact proportion of fat of your body, alright, with related to your height. So maintaining BMI is very important in terms of physical development. Go for regular exercise is very important. Sweat a lot, excrete properly, and digestive system should be efficient and wonderful. Why I am more concerning of digestive system? Because until unless your digestive system is not good, the functioning, the energy production will not help you out. Because see, when your functioning of digestive system is good, the energy production will be good, the complex molecules, the complex substance will convert into the simpler one. That's why it's very important to have a physical workout, to digest your food properly, to functioning of these internal organs properly. Next thing is mental development. Mental development means psychological development, which is very important. Mental wellness and this balanced life is very important. So one should go for meditation, performing various asanas, and be always positive. Seek positiveness in each and every situation, because if you angry for something, for some part or the other mistake, it will harm you. So why I'll be angry, right? Next thing here is to understand is emotional intelligence. If you're emotionally balanced, if you know how to control the emotions and how to use the emotions, then life will be so easy, and this problem, that is the state of mental confusion, autism spectrum disorder, can be vanished out, right? Last is organic development. So body is made up of the cells, so many chemicals, natural chemicals, right? Like the stomach secrete lot of juices which help to digest food, and a lot of things are, because our body is made up of a lot of things like cells, tissue, organ system, antibody. So efficient working of the organ system like lungs, respiratory system, these things are very important. If these things are going on well, then there will not be any problem with the body structure, and things will go on smooth and smooth, right? So autism spectrum disorder here is clear, that is a group of developmental disorder which have a wide range of disability and various levels of disability. Okay, so it's dealt with the people having various disability, different levels. People having ASD generally disturbed because they have not they are in a state of mental confusion. People having ADHD a person to a mental disorder, right? Emotionally imbalanced, socially not interactive, abnormality in their body function. So if an individual is facing a kind of problem, so definitely there will be abnormality come. Disarrangement of the body function. The body will not perform the functions properly because there is some kind of mental confusion. And whatever we think, whatever our intellectual process, it definitely will interact. It will show, it will come out. So it's definitely affect the body functioning of the system. Mental, social and emotional, physical affect also. So this mental system, it is related to our mind, the thought process, social problem, emotional and physical. So here we understand that the mental status of a person, the social temperament of a person, the emotional intelligence of the person and the physical appearance of the person will definitely affected if he or she has a autism spectrum disorder. Psychological factors, right? So now here we understand why this kind of problem, that is autism spectrum disorder occurs. So this autism spectrum disorder may be due to genetic factors. So as we all know that we get genes from our parents, like alleles, genes, heredity, you must have aware of, right? So we all get from our parents, okay? That is the sperm and the ovum which mix together to form a zygote. Then there will be recombination, what is it called? It's exactly, yes. Replication, recombination of DNA, then by both mother and father genes we made up and we have reflecting some dominant. If you look like your father, so your genes of your father is dominant. If you're reflecting your personality like your mother, it means mother's genes are reflecting. So we made up of the genes of our zygote, that is mixture of genes of parent, that is the mother and father. So sometimes due to genetic factors affect, or ASD may occur due to the genetic factor. Sometimes due to psychological factors. If the physical mental temperament is not good, if you're having some psychological kinds of problem, if there is not a mental illness, if there is not a mental peace, mental harmony, definitely there will be lot of problems which may arise due to the psychological factors. Social factors also. Right, students, see, social, it means a person should be, I told you as earlier, that person should be, physically, mentally, socially good, balanced. Because until and unless you possess a social qualities, alright, it means you should be socially interactive, you should be very effective too. So here what we understand is autism spectrum disorder is a group of developmental disorder. It's characterized by the ongoing pattern of difficulty in communicating, interacting with the people, and symptoms like which is not at all get in starting 2 years. They hurt, the individual will create a ability that they hurt themselves only, right? So some people severely under this and some of them are not. It's because in starting 2 years we will not be able to find out what the problem going on. So that's why it becomes very, very difficult. So the causes may be genetic factor, the causes may be psychological factor, the causes may be social as well as environmental factor. Environmental factor. Okay. So when we talk about environment factor, it is related with the factors that affect the environment. See, we all attract with the environment, we will attract with the surrounding things which is around us. If I stand in front of tree, I will feel good. If I am in forest, I will feel good. Okay. If I have all the luxurious items, I will feel good. But if I allow to stay in a slum area, I will not feel good. Because things reflect, we will attract with the things. There will be a lot of things which attract us and will reflect them. So clean, safe and hygienic environment is very important. In the same way, if you are a player, if you are playing in a particular field, so it is very important that the play field should be safe. The play field should be clear, the play field should be hygienic. So that then and then our health status will be good. Because a healthy body has a good soul. Okay? So here I hope you all cleared with what is disability, what is disorder, and what is exactly this autism spectrum disorder, which is called the group of developmental disorder, which consists of wide range of disabilities, various level of disabilities, and people really have a state of confusion. He or she will have in a mental state of confusion, and there will be lot of abnormality in their body functioning, their mental temperament, their social temperament, their emotional intelligence, and physical body structure. Everything will be disturbed just because of the genetic factor, psychological, that is mental factor, and emotional factors too. It's very important to have an environment which is clean, safe, hygienic, so that the health of an individual can be in mind, healthy and happy. So dear students, I hope you understood this concept of ASD, that is the introductory part, right? Now we are going to learn about what are the problems this kind of people face who have those who having autism spectrum disorder. So the people with ASD has these characteristics. And what are the characteristics? First is ongoing social problem. Now when we think about the ongoing social problem, what are they? And what we need to understand in ongoing social pattern, right? What do you mean by this ongoing social pattern? So ongoing social problems are related to what? These ongoing social problems are related to interaction, deal with the society, deal with the people, conduct a program, how to behave, respectfulness. Okay, these different things are consistently ongoing social problem. If we think that if we speak about the social, it's so clear to us that social it means related with the interaction with the people, cooperative behavior, honesty, togetherness, gratitude, respectfulness, so many things. Because man is a social animal, and we can't prosper until and unless we have a good social qualities, good communication skills. Because communication skill is such a kind of soft skill which helps us to deal with life in a better way, right? Let's cover the next thing. So, what I was telling about ongoing social problems, this include difficulty in communication, interacting with the people. See, if I am interacting with you, let's just take an example. Let's take one example. So, yeah, the situation is you are at the reception site, and the president or a lot of big, name brand people are coming. Now it's depend on you. If your communication skills are good, then everything will be smooth. The coordination will be smooth. You can deal with the people. Because if you take an example of the receptionist of a school, see various kind of parents are coming. Some are very cheerful, some are a little bit angry, some are a little bit sincere, some are time conscious, very active. So, being a receptionist, a person should have such a kind of communication skills which helps him or her to deal with the daily life problems. Because if you have a good communication skills, definitely you will be prosper, and there will not be any problem in terms of what? In terms of this interaction, in terms of conduct a program, in terms of dealing with people, interacting with people, in terms to solve any problem. Let's say there is a fight. So if there is a fight and if you want to explain people that not to do this, you have to take decisions. So if you have a mental confusion, if you have a social problem, then you will be not able to solve the problem unless you be mentally, physically, socially stable. Although you started to fight with them because of the ongoing social problems. So these sometimes people are socially very, instrumental aggression. This shows the instrumental aggression, or we may call destructive. Alright, next is repetitive behavior. So these people generally shows the repetitive behavior. They show the repetitive behavior and reflect less interest in activities. So these are generally not interested in sports and might do any work. Not only sports work, but they don't want to do any kind of work with a holy heart, and they are not possessing a good kind of things that they should be go for that, and they should definitely do a particular kind of things. So they are generally they show the repetitive behavior and reflect less interest usual normal function. So definitely if a person is having ASD, that is autism spectrum disorder, short, it hurts its normal functioning of the body and leads some problems which not affect his mind but also affect the body. Alright, so many children with having this autism spectrum disorders become so anxious, their stress level is so high, and they face a lot of problem. Some people are mildly impaired by the symptoms while others are severely disabled. So it may be severe, it may be normal, and it may be moderate. Treatment and services can improve the person's symptoms, their ability to function properly. Families with concern should talk to the pediatrician about the way they observe possibility of ASD screening, right? According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, the full form of CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Around 1 in 68 child, it has been identified that some of them are having ADSD. Around out of 68, each one is having this ADSD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Got it, students? So now I want your kind attention here on this picture that I am presenting. Right? Which picture? The picture that I am presenting. I want your kind attention here. Right? On this picture. On which picture? On this picture. What this picture reflects. Okay? So let's come and see what is this picture wants to tell us. Right? This picture reflects the situation of a person who is facing the ongoing social problems. He, let's take an example that this is a boy, okay, boy. He's a boy and he is facing a problem called ASD, autism spectrum disorder. Let's make a box. So if this individual is facing ASD, whatever problem he or she, she is work. So if we think in terms of work, he having a lot of problem by doing work, like cooperate with the behavior, with his behavior, like cooperative attitude, his way he thinks, way he expresses his emotions. So it's become very difficult for him to do a work. So he has a problem by doing a work or by doing any task or activity. Next thing is behavior. So person having this ASD, autism spectrum disorder, generally shows a very poor behavior. It means they shows the destructive and bad behavior or poor behavior, we can say. Poor or bad behavior in the sense they are very argumentative, they do arguments, they are very fragile, they are very dominated, they become angry soon. Okay, so you can add a point anger. Alright, which point you can add here? This ANGER, anger. Interest is also one of the different things. Interest. They do not have interest in doing work or any task, which generally shows the less interest. Alright, so society to deal, as I told you, that they having the ongoing social problems, they having the ongoing difficulties while interacting with the peoples, while dealing with the emergencies, and so many things. So here it is clear that the ongoing social problem, it means to communicate with the people, characterized like repetitive behavior, less interest in any of the activity, symptoms like typically recognize the first 2 years of life. Right? So here I hope you all have cleared that autism spectrum disorder is a group of developmental disorder, ADSD. It includes a wide range of problems, wide levels of problem, which is from mild, severe, normal, etc. Right? The symptoms of this ADSD is not working the social problems properly. School work, it may be any area of your life, that is any work of your life. It may be the problem of the, if it is a child in a school, then he'll or she'll not be doing the work of school. So I hope it's so clear now that autism spectrum disorder is one of the most important parameter to see, because if you're having this problem, it definitely affects your life and it will lead you into some lot of problems. Got it, dear students? So here we understand what is ASD. Now let's put a light on the next parameter. Some people are mildly impaired while other people have a lot of symptoms. It may be moderate, it may be sometimes simple, it may be normal. Not we can't say it's normal, but it's problematic kind of So some people are mildly impaired, some people are impaired moderate, and some are severe. So if it's severe, there's a lot of problem, a lot of psychological as well as physiological functions. In fact, here we understand is some people are mildly impaired, some of them having a serious effect. So if someone is seriously affected, the treatment is to go for a counselor. See, generally the counselors, the people will talk to that people, will understand the situations, what they can do, and will definitely will understand what's the problem they should have and how to overcome that. See, the counselor generally asks the peer students, they have some peer relationship, maintain a good relationship, they talk them, they motivate them, they change the inner urge of their thinking. They change the pattern, the way they think. Okay? They create new parameters in their life, they explain them what is good, what is bad, how to do for this thing, how to deal with that thing, and they definitely have this kind of process to overcome the various problems that they are facing in their life, and definitely if they do so, their all problems, I hope so, can be solved. So counselor will definitely play a very important role. Occupational therapist also helps them, right? So if we talk about occupational therapists in short we call it OTs. They have regulated health and professional cares who work for the children for various problems. Occupational therapist helps teachers and parents for the better understand and help the children to succeed in everyday activity. OTs will provide education, resource to the teacher, parents about how a child is typically develop a motor skill and how to promote development. Okay, so these are some various things which we need to keep in our mind, and definitely the role of physiotherapist is also very important. So for the treatment and the counseling, these counselors will help. Physical education teacher also play a vital role. So counselor, if we talk, the counselors. So here's the word is how counselor works for them, right? So here, see, counselor, or if we talk about the school counselor, help the children in the various way, like being their academics, their social behavior, right? Emotional. They work in collaboration with teachers, parents, special educators too, to create a healthy learning environment. And this environment and this kind of education, we called it inclusive education. Inclusive education. Now the point is, what is inclusive education? Inclusive education is defined as the learning environment which promotes the personal academics, professional development, and all irrespective to the color, caste and gender. Got it, dear students? So counselor play a vital role for them, and this OTs, occupational therapists, play a very important role. Even if some have musculoskeletal problem, so role of physiotherapist teachers, physiotherapists are very important. Physiotherapist is an aligned healthcare profession which promote health and well-being to all. It aims to help the maximize movement and proper functioning. When someone is affected due to injury, maybe ongoing, maybe acute, maybe chronic, illness and development delay, so they help there. Physiotherapist is concerned with the gross motor skills and mobility of children, also affect it also lead a good work of that is our fine motor development. Physical education teacher, generally known as physical training instructor, that is PTI or PE teachers, are responsible for the education of primary and secondary school students in physical activity, in psychomotor developments. Enjoy the game, enjoy the fun, let's have a fun, right? So speech therapists also help them. Speech therapists, these are the person who help them to speak, right? Special educators also play a very important role. They give instruction, they help them to do work, how they can excel their performance, what are the ways they can think. They are like their mother. Alright? even though all teachers are given, right? Now we need to write about the full form of this CDC. CDC is a Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. They said out of every 68 students, one is suffering from ASD. And what are the causes? So the causes is maybe a genetic factor. The causes may be accident. The cause may be war. The cause may be environment factor. Environmental factor. The cause may be social factor, etc. Right? So, as I told you, that ASD is a group of developmental problem. Okay? ASD is a autism spectrum disorder. Spectrum means some of them having a social problem, some of them having OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, some of them having emotional problem, right? Which kind of problem? Emotional problem. Which kind of problem? Emotional problem. Some of them having ODD, obsessional deficit disorder. Some of them having behavior problem. Some of them having speech problem. Maybe ADHD. May have a lot of problems, right? So the people who have a lot of problems, like this anxiety we can take, tension we can take, stress we can take, right? So various problems like ADHD, ODD, OCD, SPD, sensory processing disorder that we had learned earlier. So various problems, okay? Mood swing you can take. So, spectrum, why we call it spectrum? Because it is a group of developmental disorder. So, here it's clear that ASD is group of developmental disorder. Right? So, this we have clear, right? So, ASD is a autism spectrum disorder, it's a group of developmental disorder which affects someone's mental body. It's the person who is facing with this, which definitely affects his ongoing pattern of thinking, difficulty in communication, and a lot of social problems. It may be genetic, it may be due to war, it may be due to accident, environment factor, social problems, etc. As I told you, you can make this. It's a very important question for a broad purpose of 3 marks. Okay? So in 3 marks it's come. You can learn in a proper way, you can draw this kind of flow chart, you can draw this kind of things, and what are the problem an individual faces. With this, take care, bye-bye, and have a good day. Do all the videos, learn properly, see it, observe it carefully, go through each and every full form nicely. Full forms will definitely come in the form of MCQ. They're molded in such a way that you'll have to understand. Alright? So good luck, take care, bye-bye. We'll meet soon in the next lecture.